Yeah, qualifying here always, you're flat out every single time you're down at this track. But the qualifying times, you do have a couple different strategies that a lot of people like to use, where they like to stay all the way to the yellow line, all the way around. And some people like to go all the way up top and then get that first lap in just to get the RPMs real high. But seems like we have only like a couple of tenths between first and honestly 10th or even 12th right now. So the feels real tight. This is going to mix up a lot of things. I know we have, Gabe Butler's our resident winner here. Seems like that man's always on a streak. But it's going to be real tight qualifying here, and I'm excited to see how this kind of shakes out at the beginning. Besides Gabe Butler, who's been running rabid with this league right now, a little side story. I had a little bet with myself, with the broadcasters here, about a couple of weeks back, saying that if Gabe Butler won 4 in a row, I would do 40 push-ups. That 4 turned to 5, and I was almost getting ready to turn into 6 last week. So I was really scared about that. My arms are gonna be tired. There's a video coming. You guys will see that shortly within the next week or so. But as far as contenders here, besides Gabe, I honestly think that we have a lot of guys like Kevin Freeze is a good one. JD Crow, Robert Duvendak. We have quite a few, quite a bit of guys. A lot of the TW guys, they're still in it. We've seen some people have a lot of the heartbreaking endings at the last couple of laps here, where we've had like the 14 car with Vicente Guerrero. He's had a couple late race heartbreaks and things like that. So it's honestly, the best of the rest when it comes to this, and it's almost a deadlock standings as we look at it. Okay. Um. Well, folks, looks like qualifying is done. I do not see the standings in order right now, but I can guess I can rip them off to you right now. So we have Gabe Butler starting first, Kevin Free starting second, Brian Wang starting third, Tom Dixon starting fourth, James Monahan starting fifth, Derek Walker starting sixth, Eric Laurie starting seventh, JD Crow starting eighth, Robert Rock starting ninth, and Robert DuPont starting 10th. So that would be your top 10 right now. Looking at the rest of the field as we're coming here to the green, it looks like we have Dude Conrad in 11th, Jay Hilliard 12th, Robert Duvendak 13th. I might be reading off the wrong thing, so let's see. We have Vicente. Robert Rock. Robert Rock. It looks like he's 9th. Dude Conrad 12th. Vicente Guerrero 14th. And I think we can go on to the next set of things. I'm looking off to another screen here. We have Robert Dubedak starting 14th, Jay Hillier starting 13th, Seth Groover starting 16th, Robert Jordan in 15th, Bob Fitzgerald and Guy Elf Brooks starting 18th and 17th respectively. Randy Miner starting 20th, Bud Steele starting 19th. Oh, this is all backwards. I'm sorry, folks. Bear with me for a second. So yeah, we have Bud Steele starting 19th, Randy Miner starting 20th, and bringing up the rear of the field will be Jimmy Crow Jr. starting 21st. That is your field for tonight. Here for a Talladega Superspeedway race here at Area 51. Going to be very exciting here. I'm looking forward to how this race is going to shake out. Like I said, Gabe Butler has been on a tear right now, and with this truck series, you get a lot of passing and drafting, and with Talladega, you're able to run 3 lanes all the way up top. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be really, really competitive from the first lap to the last lap. I'm not too sure what's going on with the technical difficulties, but we'll keep going here. Looks like it's going to be a pretty calm start. I'm looking at. Seems like when we got the we had the boot knocker guys kind of starting in the places that they really want to be, where we have Kevin Freeze and Gabe Butler starting up top. So they might play a little bit of strategy coming into this. There's going to be a little bit of work that they're going to have to do when it comes to the field mileage run here, and I think when it comes down to the pit strategy, where these guys go about 20 something laps, looks like we have some troubles on the restart here. on the start. Seems like some people did some weird stuff. But going into the race, it's one of those things where a lot of people get real tense. You got some people that are real tense when the race starts because they just don't know how the flexibility of everyone else is going to go. People like to gang up on each other real quick and try to get out in front as much as possible. The strategy is very diverse when it comes to the super speedway racing, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here as we see these cars go in the backstretch.
And so I'm going to hop over here and hang out with you a little bit, Chris, as we're about to get going here. Yeah, I'm a little nervous here. I was saying the 71 truck. That being said, I really got to thank Peter DeBorgia for the paint scheme, though, on my truck tonight. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. It's like not a huge field, about 20 trucks here taking part in this one tonight. So I don't think I'm going to make too many big moves early. As I was trying to work with Kevin Freeze in practice, and man, these things are a handful to push. So we're going to try to play it safe early and just try to see if I can put myself in a good spot at the end of this thing. But yes, I appreciate you hopping on here, helping out Maxwell. Like I said, Maxwell's working on getting all of his stuff squared away here. Again, technology, it wouldn't be technology without any technical difficulties. But yeah, we'll get him all squared away here, Chris. But as I say, pace car is heading on in, and we're about to get things underway. And I think we might have Maxwell back in action here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, until that happens, we're gonna sit here and go green. We're coming to the flag as it goes green. The guys are getting a good start. Good start from both lanes as we're looking at everyone kind of around the round. Good luck to Gael on this thing, by the way. Everything's happening so fast. So he's gonna be in the 71 car. So you guys just look out for him right there. As we're looking at the front two, it looks like these guys are already getting ready to figure out what's going on. Kevin Freeze is on the outside. He's going to go ahead and push Brian Wang, I think that is, on the outside now. So Gabe Butler, resident guy. I like to say he's kind of just that gatekeeper that just loves winning. He can pull wins almost from thin air, man. Very, very good driver. Probably the best driver I've seen on a super speedway circuit. So I love seeing anyone that could take the challenge to him, like the TW guys or even the Team Extreme guys over there. I see that number 7 of James Monin. Like, all these guys are definitely capable of doing it. Right now we're seeing the number 2 car leading out right there, Brian Wang. Not sure if I've seen him too many times this year out in front, and especially in front of these guys, but the real main thing I want to get ahead is the button knockers with Gabe Butler and Kevin Freeze. These guys love to work together. It's almost a magical dance that these guys like to do when it comes to either their strategy, pushing all the way to the front, or even going all the way to the back. So as we're looking at everything right now, very tame situation where we only have 2 cars really up top. That second line is going to probably fill out in a couple laps here or so, but that bottom line is definitely one of those lines that if you're in there, you want to just make sure you're keeping your temps all correct and checked out, because we've seen some cars recently here in the season, or seen some trucks here in the season where they blow up here on the last lap, just been pushing 10, 15, 20 laps constantly and not really taking any air in the front of that car. So we gotta watch out there as we see the third line starting to form. And right now we just have the 1 and I think the 114 just sitting in the middle right now. So there's about 3 cars in the middle, 4 cars up top. You'll see the numbers change quite often here as we come to the line. Coming out of 3 right now.
All right, do you guys got a copy now? Is everything working good?
Maxwell, if you are hearing me or listening to me, or if you ever want to chime in and let me know that you're back, that'd be good.
Test 1 2.
Just waiting for you, buddy. I'm just going to keep commentating here.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
It's fun job this is, but right now we just come over to lap 4, and now we got 3 cars going 4x4 right now. We just lost a little bit off that top lane, and these guys are definitely they're hungry. They're trying to get that third line pushing. Personally, I definitely like being that third line. I feel like I have a lot more room to play with, where you got 3 distinct lines on the backstretch here. But honestly, you're only gonna have about a lane and a half when you see these guys on the top line. If they want to squeeze down low, you almost become the guy that gets to put on the pressure, where everyone else in the middle and the inside, they can't really slip up, or else everyone's gonna crash. So we're gonna see people in the back here. If we go towards the back, you'll see the line kind of play itself out. Where you might have a second groove, so you'll have a pack of 6, 7, 10, 10, 12 cars be in the front, all within half a second of each other. Then that second pack kind of just drift to the back, just in case something gnarly happens with a wreck and everything else like that. So with these guys doing all that, very, very sketchy driving. As long as you trust your partner, you trust the guy pushing you, you trust the guy that you're pushing, everything really works out fine when you're on that top line. So we see that right now. These guys are not pushing too hard. There's nothing really going on too ridiculously, but you'll see that bottom line's kind of losing a little bit of strength, whereas right now it's just Kevin Freeze pushing Brian Wang to the front still.
Absolutely looking good here tonight. Thank you so much. I believe the technical difficulties are fixed. Don't exactly know what caused that. 5 minutes before the stream we were fine. Now we're not. So hopefully you guys can hear me out there in green, white, checkered land. We are currently on lap 6 of 78. And all the intro stuff I tried to set up for everybody, Chris, I don't think worked out well. But, buddy, thank you so much for covering for me there. Push to talk sometimes can be a horrible thing. So if y'all hear a little background noise tonight, I am sorry. This is just going to be how I have to rock it for this moment. I had a software crash, not want to work again, so have to look into that for next week. But 3 by 3, we see these drivers heading off into turn 3. Definitely see some action up front. Gabe Butler with nothing to lose, trying to get up there and lead some laps. But Brian Wang, a tough competitor. We saw him race last week, pushing a lot of these Team Boot Knocker guys. But here he is tonight, trying to mix it up and see if he can't get a win himself here tonight, Chris. This has been nothing short of action-packed so far.
Yeah, action-packed and very heart-pounding. Talking for that little bit of time, I kind of, realize what you and Gael do when it's just you up in the booth trying to make sure you commentate everything in the race. So, hats off to you guys. I definitely have to give y'all's props. It's fun kind of just being second or third chair whenever we usually do this. But shout outs to you guys for doing that. I'm glad you got your stuff, rocking and rolling. And speaking of rock and rolling, we got that third line still trying to form. And I see these guys still trying to push out there. I'm definitely in favor of that third line, just getting that push going. And I see Gabe Butler right now. Looks like he doesn't want to be at the bottom to help out Kevin Freeze. I'm not sure if that's just by design or these guys are just trying to push for all they're worth. And, everyone's kind of man for themselves right now.
Absolutely. And we see a big pack of cars here, but if we look way back, look at someone, a big competitor here in the 14, Vicente Guerrero. We know this driver well, right? He's normally aggressive. And look, he's about to get lapped by the field. Not looking well here for Vicente. Look how close they are to making him go a lap down, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and get out of the way, drop down to the apron. Not the start he wanted. In all the chaos of technical difficulties, I can't tell you if maybe he had a penalty to serve here at the start or what it might have been, but definitely not the start he was looking for, as he'll be our first truck one lap down here tonight. But going back to our leaders here as they race past him, here they come into the tri-oval, not giving up. These guys going really hard, and almost an aggressive move there by Dude Conrad there in the 8, really coming down far. So definitely things to look at here tonight. These looks like aggression level is very high here tonight, Chris. And you know what happens when these guys get a very high aggression level? They don't give up.
The big one definitely happens. Actually, when we saw Vicente get around the tri-oval, I think some of his teammates tried to pick him up, so everyone went down about 40, 50 miles per hour slower, so that ended up making the second group. Hopefully they will stay with this first group and get the draft and tag along. Looks like they're trying to do that right now. But speaking of Vicente going the lap down, that's not necessarily a terrible strategy or even a terrible deficit for him to come back from. In case something happens like a big one or a wreck, he now doesn't even need to compete with some of the guys that wrecked out. He will instantly get that lucky dog, so he can literally kind of just sit in the back and wait till the last lap and just hope for the last lap caution that happens where he can go ahead and get a free pass.
Absolutely. And, these guys racing really, really hard up front. We were at Daytona last week. Very weird race played out. Me and Kyle talked long about that after the broadcast, about how just crazy and odd and, lack of yellows and the spreading out of the field. We only had 3 cars on the lead lap last week, but none of these guys want to be the ones going a lap down tonight. Look at them, 3 by 3 by 3. Got Team Extreme there in the middle line pushing Gabe Butler, while Team Bootknocker is leading both outside lanes. And you've got Team Bootknocker all up there. 3 in a row on the bottom lane. Gabe Butler in the middle, JD Crow up top. But one of their allies there that's not really on the team but tends to run with them quite a bit. We see that 0-2. We know who he is, Seth Groover. Very, very fast driver here tonight and is definitely trying to make moves out here. But you've got all these guys 3 by 3, but then look behind them. Everybody else really single file, really biding their time. They say, we don't want to get this racy right now. We want to be conservative because there's 2 races left of these playoffs. And, Chris, something we've got to talk about, there's some different agendas out here tonight. So some people really need to get up there, lead the most laps, get a win to make their season, to make it in those playoffs. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys really worried about their playoff hopes and making sure they don't get in the wreck here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. If we look at the season overall, a lot of these guys probably had a game plan of trying to sneak a win here and there throughout the season. With Gabe Butler taking most of the wins, a lot of those chances kind of went up in flames for some of those guys, and in the process of doing that, they probably wrecked out. And where they could have finished, top 3 or top 5, now they're sitting, in the last 5 of whatever the grid was, whether that be 25 cars, 30 cars, or even just 20, just 20 cars itself. If you're going to, end up being 5th and now you're last, and you do that, back-to-back weeks, now you're really, hurting for points. So some of these guys are in a must-win situation. Some of these guys are just, let me be up front the whole time, and I think I'll be fine. Some of these guys are like Gabe Butler, where if he wanted to, he can honestly sit in the back probably the whole time and technically phone in this race if he really wanted to. But, we know Gabe is a competitor, and he definitely wants to win as much as he can, no matter what the streak or, what it might cost his teammates. So it's one of those things where, Team Bootknocker is a really, team-developed sport right here. Or they're a very, team-forward sport where these guys, they all want to win, but, if, they will take it from their buddy if they have to.
Absolutely. These guys racing super hard down the back stretch, going into turn 3. Look at that beautiful shot of these trucks just hauling off into turn 3 with so much speed. You guys at home want to know what these trucks really look like? Everybody looks like they're out on a nice Sunday drive. Am I correct? Everybody would think that way. But if you look here, let's take a ride on the rear of Gabe Butler and look at what's behind him. Look at these guys weaving and waving around, really just trying to find somewhere to go. I mean, it's like playing a game of Snake, and you see him move up. Team Extreme trying to make the move there on the bottom of Gabe Butler, and that's really going to shoot him out to that 3rd lane. Doesn't look as easy as everybody thinks, does it, Chris? They are racing hard here tonight.
Oh, definitely not. That was a beautiful shot that we just saw right there. And it looked like Gabe thought everyone was going up to block. I'm not sure if he kind of just got duped a little bit, or he just wanted to sit in the back and not lead anymore. But you see, it takes a long time for someone to switch lanes and get the momentum back. So we saw that number 7 car had to back up just a little bit. But you give about half a lap, and these guys will be right back up to the front as long as Gabe wants to go to the front, or whoever's pushing that 3rd line.
Absolutely. And we see some strong runs. A lot of guys starting to make their way to the bottom. I feel like this race just started, at least for me, but, I've probably missed the first 5-6 laps there, Chris. So 15 laps into this event already here at Talladega. Lean, mean, and green thus far. These guys are starting to make their way to the bottom. The outside lane starting to diminish. We're seeing less and less of 3 wide and more 2 wide, trying to get down to single row here. And, we don't have that many trucks here tonight. Truthfully, we only have about 21 that entered and 20 on track currently, showing 1 driver already out of the race. Don't know if he gridded or not, but definitely not looking well for this field. There's only 20 trucks, so if you pit and you lose a friend, it's going to be really bad because there's only you're not going to have a second pack behind you to pick you up, right, Chris? I mean, you're going to have guys really trying hard on this first pit stop if it's under green to stick together so that they can get out here and make lap time and continue to be in this lead pack.
Yeah, fundamentally, you don't have that many cars to worry about, and you have plenty of time to get the pit road safety without the cavalcade of cars coming from left to right and center, trying to all get into the pit lane. So you should be able to get into your stall relatively easy, but that just makes the risk a little bit higher if you were to screw up. So next couple of laps we're going to see these guys pit here, and right now we're what I like to call the posturing phase, where some of the teammates are trying to figure out how to get next to each other or figure out where they're at. That way everyone can pit, with relative ease and get into things. So a lot of these guys are getting ready to posture. You'll have some guys that just want to be out in front when they get ready to do this pit. You'll have some guys that are willing to go to the back, like we saw Gabe Butler, where he can kind of command the rest of his teammates if need be to tell them, where the lines are, who wants to pit where. Because if you have two people, side by side to each other, it's going to be one of those things where we might not be able to get a good clean pit in, so you might screw up that way. So a lot of this stuff is a lot of posturing right now. A lot of people just need to figure out where they're at right before they pit, and I think these guys will do all right with just 20 cars.
Absolutely, and we got some guys chiming in the chat here tonight. Some rooting on their buddy Lugnuts here, rooting him on here tonight out in this field. And we got Checkered Flag Motorsports telling us that it will definitely be a fuel mileage race here tonight with only 20 trucks. And I agree. The more trucks you have, the bigger wake of air you're creating, the more lift you can have when riding in the pack and fuel save you can have. But, we've seen these truckers stretch it this season so far. And, Chris, I know you've not been in the booth a whole lot this season, but you've been watching each race, chiming in the chat, figuring out how many push-ups you got to do. But, with less trucks, fuel mileage could be an issue. I mean, if we only go 20 laps apiece, that really just gets you to the end. There really is no fuel saving. If we get an untimely caution, that could really put a hamper in some of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fuel mileage race from the list of it if it goes all the way green. But like I said, for this season, for the races that I've watched and some of that I've commentated, we've always had all of our problems happen right around the pit cycle. So a lot of these guys end up making some mistakes. Sometimes the yellow flag comes out, sometimes it doesn't, and it vastly changes what happens to the landscape of this race. So we'll see here in a couple of laps here, where right now we got some guys trying to go 3 wide. We got the second line really trying to get some groove with 4 cars right now, and you got 2 cars on the outside in that third lane trying to form some stuff. They might be trying to go to the back, but like I said, this is just that posturing phase where a lot of these guys are just trying to see what they got. It might be one of those last lap practice runs that a lot of these guys might try to do.
Absolutely, and I don't know that we'll see very many truckers come in this time around. They've proven me wrong before. I expect lap 20 to see pit road be a very busy place here, Chris. But coming to lap 20, we'll see who decides to pit, what teams decide to stay out, what ends up happening here. But, looking through this field.
A little bit of checkup in the back, sorry.
A little checkup in the back. Maybe they've gotten it all clear, kind of looking through the field. Looks to be good here. But, we got some players there that have hung out in the back. But, Chris, we've got some drivers here tonight that wasn't able to make it looks like. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see hardly any TW Motorsports drivers out here tonight. I know we've got the 101 of Randy Miner driving here, and I believe we also have the 59 of Jay Hilliard, but other than that, some big heavy hitters not here. But here comes the feeding frenzy down to pit road. It's going to be the entire field coming on the same lap. I don't think we've quite seen a race like this. Look at them coming down into the pit stalls here, trying to make it into their stall.
Definitely. Nobody wanted to make a chance and stretch it out too long. So it's one of those things where a lot of these guys actually have to worry about if they had a pit, early on, like one of the first pit stalls or one of the last pit stalls, where you might have some guys cut over, I think. Looked like everyone got in relatively easy, but yeah, I've never seen the whole field come in. So it's gonna be a real good frenzy right now to see who can kind of get up through the gears and get around turn 1 and 2 through the apron, which is gonna be tricky, especially if these guys are on old tires and they didn't change anything.
Absolutely, and it's going to be real interesting to see who might have sped coming off. All 20 trucks at the same time. That's your chance to make track position, right? But we've also got to watch the merge here. You don't want to merge too quick out of pit road or you'll get that black flag penalty. And those are also no fun. But these Team Boot Knocker guys really executed the pit stop well. Seem to be getting away from this field just a little bit. And maybe after this, since it's the entire pack coming at the same time, Chris, we might see some separation here of the packs. You think we might see that here?
Yeah, you're going to need about 3 to 4 cars to really get a good amount of speed, lap-to-lap basis. So you get a couple 2-car teams, they'll eventually form back up into a big pack. So if these guys right now, it's 3 with 1 car lagging back. And I think if they want to just blip the gas just a little bit, they can get a good 4-car run, and they'll be gone. They'll be gone for a couple of laps before the rest of the field catches back up to them, if they're even able to connect with each other. So we see Robert Rock literally just hanging on by a thread. I think that's who's back there right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with these guys, because after that we got another set of 3 cars, and then another set of 3 cars after that, and then there's the rest of the field all tagging along. So they're going to see about two packs form with a big third train right behind those guys. So let's see here in a couple laps what's going to happen.
Absolutely. We were riding on board there with Gabe Butler for just a moment just to show the separation. But as we rode on board, you seen the accordion. Look at them all coming together in the back here. They're producing a big pack, but let's see who is leading that pack. Looks to be Derek Walker here in the 20. Look at the gap to the other vehicles next to him, though, but they're all kind of strung out. Robert Duvendak here, Robert Jordan. Look at these other guys that really had great pit stops, but will they be able to stick together? Of course, the TW Motorsports guys, there may only be 2, but they found each other quick. Robert Rock here in 4th, Eric Laurie 3rd. With his 2 teammates, Kevin Freeze and Brian Wang. And maybe the 7 had a penalty? I believe that might be the 7 of James Mohan going a lap down here, folks. So probably one of those drivers we said had a penalty could have sped, and that really changes the complexion of his race, because if the field's this spread out right now, we have a chance of this race possibly going green to the end.
Yeah, definitely, and the guys that got a good pit stop are kind of spread out. Like Robert Duvendak is getting ready to get passed by the field, and Robert Jordan, and eventually Jay Hilliard, Randy Miner, and Robert Rock. These guys are going to get assimilated into that big pack. So it's going to need some finesse from this pack to figure out how to get these guys in the line and not lose too much time to the top 3, top 4 right now. So right now we see them checking up on that inside line a little bit. But that pack's going to get ready to come for Jay Hilliard, Randy Miner, and Robert Rock. So within a lap or so, these guys are probably going to catch them. Now they're going 2 by 2. So they're getting the most speed out of the maximum amount of cars that they have right now. So that pack is coming fast, and these guys are going to have to figure out how to assimilate into it before the rest of the field catches up. And these guys like Brian Wang and Kevin Freeze are going to get dust them in a sec, because they're almost half a straightaway in front of them.
Absolutely, and believe it or not, Brian, we're seeing the same thing we saw last week, and I don't know if you were able to catch the race, but 3-car breakaway, able to pull away from a pack of 10-plus trucks. And it's not as big of a pull as we've seen, but you can see it over here on the ticker, folks. You can see that Bud Steele leading that second pack, 6.94 seconds back. Kind of holding steady just for the moment, but there it goes, ticking up even farther as they get in the corner. Just slowly losing time to these front runners. And let's give credit where credit is due, man. 4th and 5th, Robert Rock and Randy Miner. They've picked up a couple of different drivers here to work with them, right? I believe it's Jay Hilliard, Randy Miner, and Robert Rock working together as a pack of 3, but they've got James Mohan, that lap truck there in 4th. That lap truck could be the saving grace for them to try to catch them up to this lead pack, but look at that big pack here in the back. One thing I just don't understand, look at them. And they're running side by side because last week they ran single file and were losing tons of time, so they think they're speed and running side by side, but they got to be careful not to side draft each other. But Chris, it's amazing. 2 weeks in a row, Daytona and Talladega both. Night race and then day race here today. Doesn't matter. 3 trucks seem to be faster than an entire pack. Can you believe that?
Yeah, as we see both of the 2 front groups, combined to one good, I think 8 cars right now. So it's one of those things where a lot of people think that just you step on the gas, the lap times don't really matter, but this is what seconds off pit lane will do. These guys were only, a couple of tenths away from each other, and then eventually that breakaway in the draft that outlap is going to, turn into a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and now you see these guys are 8 seconds away from that next gap. So they're almost 9 seconds away from that gap, and everybody pitted within a second of each other. So that's the difference between getting out, getting next to your partner, getting that tandem draft, and running away from everybody. So congratulations to these 7 guys to be able to kind of make their race themselves and separate everybody else. So it's going to be a good challenge for these guys to take that down from 8 seconds all the way back to about 1 second and get the draft of these front 7 right now.
Absolutely. And, we wouldn't be right if we didn't check in on the boss man himself and what looks to be a beautiful, beautiful paint job here tonight. The 71 of Gael Brooks, right? The leader of the parade, the boss man of them all, right? Here he is running toward the back of this pack, just kind of hanging out, and thankful, that he's a great multitasker to be able to let me know my mic wasn't working and to start looking in and to even jump in the booth while he was racing to be able to come and help us out just a little bit, going through the baby steps, right, of learning how to do all these streams. I know I can jap my jaws and talk a lot, but clicking all the buttons is a whole different story, Chris. But nice to see him out there with a nice, clean truck, just biding his time. Maybe at some point, if we get a yellow, we can bring him in for a little in-race interview here just to see how he is, what he's getting to experience. And let's face it, just the fun he's getting to have. Chris, this is a hard-working guy doing, 3 different streams a week and having to do all the Area 51 streams. It's nice to be able to see him get to take a break and just go have fun with these guys, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. This is kind of like, owning the airplane business, but getting ready to fly your own airplane. I think this is like a leisure night for Gael. It's still intense, still everything like that, but it's nice to see that truck out there. Nice to see that representation of the team here, and shout outs to the commentators too. We saw Checker Flag Motorsports and not so common sense. Go Lug Nuts and things like that. It really takes the community here. We thank you guys for tuning in every week, or whenever we have our races and stuff like that, where it's for me it's very wholesome to see that everything come together, and just being part of the team this year, hanging out with Maxwell, hanging out with Gael, and whenever we do the 2-seat 3-seat deals and stuff like that, very, very wholesome, very heartwarming to see all the comments that you guys give us and just the support and stuff like that. So to see our boss man, on the track and everything like that is just wonderful for me to see at the end of this week on this nice week of in September.
Absolutely. And trying to learn how to run these streams a little better, wanting to get the chat involved here tonight. Let us know what you think about the separation of the pack. So it seems how this big pack is just losing ground. Remember earlier we said it was 6, almost 7 seconds. We're now almost 10 seconds between 6th and 7th place, about 9.5 between those 2 drivers. But from the leader to 7th is almost 10 seconds apart. This pack has a lot of fast drivers in it too. I mean, look here, Gabe Butler pushing Seth Groover. We know those guys can make it to the front if they ever wanted to. Dude Conrad out there, plate racing legend in my opinion. Just so many different drivers in this backpack that know what they're doing, but yet they still cannot catch up to this front pack led by Brian Wang. And just look how small of a pack this really is. They've gained a few drivers here. They wasn't able to do the 3-car breakaway like we saw last week, but still the smaller pack seems to prevail. And last week they ran single file in a big group of 12 to 15 and couldn't go nowhere. And now tonight they're running side by side to see if that helps their pack, and it's really not. So amazing things to see, but definitely getting involved here tonight. Look here, 12 laps into this run now. They pitted right at lap 20. We're on lap 32, getting ready to conclude it. You've got Brian Wang, your leader, Kevin Freeze in second, Eric Laurie third, Robert Rock fourth, and Randy Miner rounding out your top 5. Jay Hilliard here in sixth, got that lap truck of James Mohan there running with him, and then the battle is really back here. We'll try to call these drivers as I can, but they keep swapping positions back and forth. Got J.D. Crow 7th, Seth Groover 8th, Robert DuPont 9th, and that's already changing. Gabe Butler, though, rounding out your top 10. Dude Conrad in the 8th, running 11th. Derek Walker in 12th. Bud Steele 13th. Robert Jordan moving up from 14th to 13th. Tom Dixon now scored as 15th, just swapping in and out here, right? Robert Duvendak 16th. Gael Brooks staying consistent here in the 17th position. And Bob Fitzgerald here rounding out the end of this pack. Remember, Vicente Guerrero, last car in the field. He is running 1 lap down. So, definitely got 2 drivers battling for a lucky dog position, but everyone else on the lead lap chasing Brian Wang here tonight. And you know, we haven't got to do this a whole lot yet, but I think this might be a good time before pit stops. Let's see if we can do a little crank it up.
Oh, yeah.
$35 laps in the books, almost coming to complete it. Isn't it amazing how a small pack of trucks or a big pack of trucks, doesn't matter, those cameras get to shaking there in our camera footage. So definitely nice to see these truckers out here running nice and clean tonight. 36 laps under the green flag. No yellow has flown just yet, and really haven't even seen many close calls. You know, sometimes we'll see a wreck that should be a caution, but they wreck to the infield and nothing happens. But Chris, are you surprised we haven't seen anybody really squirrely or out of line just yet?
Yeah, definitely surprised, especially with everyone coming down the pits as they did last time. So we might not see that this time with just the separation of everybody. And we called it earlier where this pack kind of, the front 7, I would say, merged. As soon as they did that, they were about 8 seconds in front of the leaders. And right now, the leaders just keep losing time. They were 8 seconds in front of that back pack. So those guys in the back right now going 2 by 2, I think them side drafting each other is just slowing them down ever so slightly. So now they're about 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds back. So they might need to go an extra lap right now just to see if they can overcome these guys' the front 7's strategy right now. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on the next couple of laps. So there's not really too much posturing that these guys need to do to set themselves up for a pit stop. But just the way that everything worked out the first time, the front 7, if they can do that again, they're going to increase that gap almost 3, 4, 5 seconds, I think, again, if they can hook up decently well.
Absolutely, but here's a thought too, Chris. What would happen if that front pack all pits together, but then they get separated pretty good? Just like that first initial group of 20, when the whole field came down, we saw a separation of people. What if that front pack, someone may speed on pit road or someone may miss their stall and have to back up? If that separates that big pack, then, and these guys, they have enough drivers that at least some of them will indeed stay together. That could change the whole complexion of this race yet again. So don't count this backpack out just yet. They've still got time. And I'm not going to lie to you, Chris. Me and Gael watched last week, and The backpack ran single file with a group this size and could not catch a group of 3 trucks. They actually lost time quicker than they are tonight. So, believe it or not, I think running side by side might be helping just a little to keep some of the gaps from being so big and the accordion effect so bad. But man, I don't know, other than having some misfortune from the guys up front or a yellow, I don't know what this backpack's going to do to be able to catch up. Do you? All right, don't know if we have Chris right now, but I'll tell you what, we are continuing to run here tonight. Definitely got some action here tonight. Brian Wang is your leader, has led almost every lap of this event here tonight. And I am going to go ahead and make sure we focus on those leaders because pit stops will be coming in the next lap or two, especially if it's a smaller pack. Chris, I thought I heard something. Are you back with us?
Yeah, sorry about that. I hit my own button, so we're all having technical difficulties all around. So yeah, to bring back to the question, I think these guys are going to do all right, but as we saw the second pack, or that backpack right now, you only see the front 2 cars getting pushed right now, and everyone else is given a decent bit of a gap between each other. It looks like they're not trying to push as hard, which is also contributing to them not going as fast as they really could. Where the front pack, you see, they're just a little bit closer than what you would see in the backpack right now. So these guys are running a little bit closer, and they're able, because they don't have a car on the outside or inside, they're able to duck out and get air if they need to. So you see the front car kind of drift out, and you can see where that grate is, that intake for the truck of Kevin Freeze, where he can get some air and it'll cool down his engine. So a lot of these guys have that option to keep their engines cool and be able to still push because they don't have to worry about someone on the outside running into them.
Absolutely, and we kind of see that gap here with Kevin Freeze on the back of Brian Wang, seeing how good of a pusher he is here tonight. But look, here they come ducking down. They are ready for pit lane. The front group is coming in, locking up the tires is Brian Wang. Everybody trying to make sure they get on to pit road safely. And now we really need to see if this second pack responds, and they do. Looks like everybody, a little bit of a group staying out for one more lap. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll see if this second pack can make up any distance on the front one. But look here. Dude Conrad staying out to lead a lap here tonight. And look who's in second. Mr. Risk Taker himself, Gael Brooks, running second place. Along with Bud Steele being the last lead lap driver there in third.
Definitely like seeing the boss man up front right now, and I don't think those guys really had a choice to make the pit stop with how they were still running 2x2 and racing each other a little bit aggressively, just trying to push as much as it worth to get the pit stop. So looks like these guys are going to pit on the next time by. With them being 4 cars, they really aren't going to have the speed to keep that up, especially with the fuel coming in. As you see them coming in right now, and they're decently spread out, easy pit stop for them should be coming up.
Absolutely. We see these 4 able to probably even be more aggressive getting onto pit road, not worried about running into one another, can maximize their entry. Maybe they wanted to stay out to stay away from all the congestion. Oh, as we say that, there's contact between the 6 of Bud Steele and the 8 of Dude Conrad. Definitely got to watch when you're running side by side on pit road. That'll happen quite often. Look for Bud Steele maybe to take a fast repair. That was a pretty hard hit in the left front. But as those guys are pitting, look, here come the leaders. And look how much time they're going to lose to Brian Wang and them. Already cleared back to the lead. Oh, my goodness. Definitely so much time lost. Here they come. Gael Brooks leading the charge off pit road. But can they blend ahead of some of these guys in the second pack? And look, it's actually the second pack that split up instead of the front pack.
Yeah, the front pack pretty much stayed together. It was 7 cars up there. Now we're seeing 6. So looks like they're getting ready to possibly lose Jay Hilliard unless they try to get him back. But it looks like Robert Rock's trying his best to bring him back and not lose James Moen, who's on the tail end of this front pack. So if they can get back together, it's going to be another 7-car pack. And it looks like they're going to be even Stevens coming out of the pits, where it looks like they lost a little bit more time or they gained a little bit more time on that second pack right now. I think they're about 14 seconds ahead of them right now.
Absolutely, and just look at all this separation, and even when they're in 2x2, they're going to run side by side. I think in small packs such as that, it's really going to slow you down here. But man, can this pack try to get together? Gael Brooks and his crew really the big winners on this pit stop, staying out that one extra lap, got them ahead of quite a few drivers. And look at some of them way in the back here. Maybe Gabe Butler, I'm thinking he might have waited for Dude Conrad after his incident to try to make sure he wasn't left by himself and have a drafting partner. As we see him actually go to the outside, maybe that 8 truck of Dude Conrad is damaged, but man, not looking good for our multi-time winner. And the reason you're having to do push-ups, driver of Gabe Butler, really running in the back. You think you can make a deal with Gabe that because he's finishing in the back now or running in the back, he's got to take that many push-ups away from you?
It'd be very nice to take away the 50 push-ups that I just got to edit that video. Honestly, I did them. My arms are still sore. Getting better recovery. Drinking some shakes and stuff like that. But he can afford to kind of sit in the back and try to help out people. And that's the kind of ideal I like to see from a great competitor like him, where he's we've known him to be up front, know him to be in the winner's circle, but for him to go ahead and kind of take the fall and just try to help out a fellow competitor, fellow teammate, possibly. Not sure if that's the case, but he's willing to help somebody that obviously had a hiccup on the pit stop right there. So good sportsmanship, good competitor right there. So nice to see Gabe Butler just helping out everybody else.
Absolutely. Looking back to our front pack, would not hurt us a bit with the way everything's separated to do kind of a through the field here. So let's take a look at where these drivers are running currently. Brian Wang showing absolute dominance. Team Bootknocker 1, 2, 3 here in the field. Brian Wang been leading the way most of the night. Seems to be running a part-time schedule here this season. May run full-time next season. We're not quite sure, but definitely joined in late to the party this season. But right behind him is a driver that's had some bad luck, but finally broke it last week with a victory at Daytona. Kevin Freeze has been up front each and every race all season long, been looking super strong. And Chris, I know you've been watching, and he's been pretty competitive, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, definitely competitive. Just hasn't had the same luck that Gabe Butler has had. Gabe Butler's won races, if we put a sheet of paper right now, he's probably won each race that many times by a sheet of paper. So it's really amazing to see what Gabe Butler has done this season with the wins. If he didn't win, people like Kevin Freeze and Eric Laurie, even Robert Rock, a lot of these guys probably would have had one win already this season. So it's a testament to the competition of this league, that the guy that has the most wins has pretty much won each one of them by a late race hiccup or just by a sheet of paper. So the competition in this league is stout. Each driver they have pretty much their own not origin story, but they have their own story to tell about how they almost won, or what could have been a great race for them. Absolutely.
Third place. We see what I like to call, I've raced with this man multiple times myself. Chris, you probably have a time or two as well. Eric Laurie, kind of one of the underrated drivers for Team Bootknocker, and it's not saying he doesn't have talent. He's just never really in the spotlight very much, right? He's always riding at the back, helping his teammates, being that pusher just like he is tonight. But luck has been on his side tonight. His teammates have been up front. He qualified up front, and he's been able to maximize his pit stops and be able to stay right there with his teammates in third place. Looking back at fourth place here, Robert Rock with what looks to be a new paint job here tonight. Looks really slick, looks nice. Definitely running strong here tonight. Just biding his time. And, I always kind of forget that Robert kind of helps these TW Motorsports guys, kind of a part of that team, and it's kind of 3-on-3 right now, right? Team Bootknocker in 1, 2, 3. Robert Rock is fourth with teammate Jay Hilliard there in fifth, just riding around here, biding his time. They've shook off that lap truck of James Moen, so right here rounding out your top six and your lead pack, as he kind of blinks there for us just a moment, is Randy Miner in the 101. Always in these races, always trying to contend. Not always had the best of luck, been caught up in a lot of incidents. But, man, looking at a solid chance at a top 5 here tonight. If not a win, I say any of them in this top 6 have a shot. Don't you, Chris?
Oh, definitely. As I think James Mullen is our first DNF of the race right now. Saw him disconnect, but yeah, 3-on-3. It's a good team battle right now. So the guys in the back, these last three cars, I think have the advantage of just being able to save tires, and if they want to get a good run, you have two and a half, 3 lanes already up top if you want to go that route. And as long as you get enough momentum, you'll definitely be able to shake things up. So this is a six truck race right now with the back of that pack almost 15, 16 seconds behind them.
And you bring it up behind the leader, almost 15 and a half seconds back lies your 7th place driver, if you can believe that, JD Crow. And guess what? We're used to seeing JD win some of these races, run up front, be in that top 3 quite often. Can't tell you how many times we've had him in the interrogation room for interviews, man. And he is a solid driver, just trying to help this line find some sort of momentum with his experience. And right behind him, a very aggressive, hard pusher in Seth Groover. Seth is so good at what he does. Normally runs with his brother, but his brother's kind of been off doing some different things. Seth kind of out here running his own and kind of running as a solo driver here, not really affiliated with any team, though he likes to run with the Team Bootknocker guys of Gabe Butler and JD Crow, as you can see here. Strong driver all season long here in 9th position, Robert Duvendak. New to the series this season, but has definitely made sure that his name is known. Been up there challenging for victories and for top 5 finishes, sometimes getting caught up in big, massive accidents this season, but right here solidly running in the top 10 in the 9th position, just trying to aid those two in front of him to get up front. And another strong pusher helping this line is Derek Walker there in the 10th position, as we see Guile Brooks maybe get a little distracted, get a little bored, clipping that apron a little bit. But no, Derek Walker just so strong. Can't miss him out here, Chris, in that bright pink truck.
Yeah, definitely love the paint schemes out here. Each one is great. Even our bosses in that 71, I saw him make a little wiggle right there for a second. But all these cars are great. We can almost, once you watch this series for a couple weeks, you'll instantly recognize some of these cars. They don't change their paint schemes too much. Maybe a sponsor here or there, but we see the TW guys, we know them by heart. We see the the Extreme guys, we know them by heart. And then you got Kevin Freeze up front, sitting in second, and obviously Gabe Butler. Like these guys have some pretty good paint schemes that are very memorable with their trucks and stuff like that. And that's what I definitely like about this series is it's easy to figure out who's in front, and it's definitely recognizable to associate your fandom with. I like that pink truck right there. I like Gael, the boss's truck. That's a very special paint scheme. I really like that. I almost want to run that myself in the official series.
Absolutely, and that 71 of Guile Brooks is running in the 11th position. Chris, if we really wanted to, we could kind of say what we want to about him. He can't hear us right now. He's not going to hear it until after the race, but we're just going to sit here and say he's a swell guy because he lets us do this each and every week, and it's so much fun. So even though we have both kind of had mic issues tonight and probably embarrassed him a little bit, we apologize for that, Gael, but at least for tonight, we've got our temporary Band-Aids on. We've got it fixed and trying to run as best we can. But look behind him here. A really strong driver, kind of not up front like we're used to. Tom Dixon in the 411, running in the 12th position. And we're not used to seeing that. This driver, along with James Moan, his teammate, really used to being up front, going 2 and 3 wide like they were earlier in the race. If you recall, Chris, they were up there pushing Gabe Butler in that middle line and pushing aggressive enough that they kind of shoved him up out of the line, right? They take no prisoners. They're ready to race and race hard, but definitely here tonight, getting caught out on a little bit of pit strategy, not going their way, maybe guys getting in their way, maybe not getting in the box so well, but running right there in the 12th position. The driver we really haven't talked about much tonight that looks like he might have a new paint job this evening, Bob Fitzgerald, usually in the black and red machine, but he's out here in the white, black, and green machine here tonight. Very noticeable, but just kind of had a quiet night. Been running about mid-pack all race long, and with only 20 trucks in the field, really 13th is kind of toward the rear of this field here tonight, believe it or not. So continuing to go through, we see Vicente Guerrero there, but he is a lap-down driver just trying to run with the field. But look here, we see Dude Conrad in 14th and picked up 2 other guys, the 2 that were in the accident. well off the pack here, really far back. Dude Conrad running 14th. Gabe Butler in unfamiliar territory here in 15th. And then Bud Steele in 16th position. Another driver that has already fell in the clutches of the lead pack and went a lap down is Robert Jordan, leading our lap down trucks in 17th. And also Robert DuPont not running so well, a lap down. Probably got caught out on those last set of pit stops there. Talked about Vicente Guerrero, got to go all the way down to him. He's no longer the first car lap down. So he's got some battling to do to try to get up there in the 19th position. And we've already talked about the 7 of James Mohan has retired this evening, I believe. Yes, no longer in the race with us. So going back to our leaders here as we correct the cameras. We down to 23 laps to go already, Chris. Time sure is flying. And guess what? We've still got one more set of pit stops to go.
Oh, definitely. I think these guys, it's about 20, 21 laps that we see these guys are able to go on. But if they really want to try it, they could possibly pit early and try to stretch it out just to get that pit stop over with and hopefully get together. So just a little bit of a risk that these guys might try to go for if that carrot is tantalizing enough for these guys to go ahead and try to do with 23 to go, about to be 22. So not necessarily sure what these guys want to do. We got about 3 different packs. We got leaders spread, not leaders, but we got lap cars spread all around. These guys are definitely on different pit cycles, unless they went on that last one with these guys. So not too sure what's going to happen here. So looking at what's going to go. Looking at what's going to go on, I think these teammates are really going to have to start figuring out, when they want to pit, who's going to be pushing where, and I think everyone right now is just waiting for a caution to happen, but they don't want to be the caution.
And I'll tell you who's wanting a caution right now. We just saw it in the cameras. Look at who's barely ahead of the lead pack. Gabe Butler, Dude Conrad, Bud Steele. They are in the danger zone. And Bud Steele already going to move out of the way, maybe coming to pit road a little early. I don't know if pitting by himself is such a great strategy, but that's what he's going to do. But look here, just in the clutches of our leaders. They have been mowing these guys down since they got separated from the big pack. And before we exit turn 2, the 8th and 1, they're going to go a lap down. Have you seen a race here lately that you've seen Gabe Butler a lap down when he's trying?
Absolutely not. I'm pretty surprised that this has happened during this race. It's a pretty weird race from start to finish, with all the glitches. I guess it's not just us, it's the drivers in the field. We saw the Daytona race where people got spread out, but that was that was kind of due to a little bit of hiccups here and there, but these guys definitely spread out. And it doesn't look like anybody really screwed up too bad so far this race. It just seems that this is how it worked out with a green flag pit stop, where we have 3 separate drivers, and each time we pit, the trucks get spread out further and further. So I'm pretty surprised what's going to go on, as I think it's getting ready to be pit stop time for some of these guys.
Absolutely. Right here at 20 to go, the fuel window is open. If you're wanting to pit feeding time here, you can make it to the end of the race, but not so sure about any green-white checkers we might have. But interesting move by the 1. He ditched the 8 to come move down. I wonder if the 8 still had damage from that pit road incident that we saw, and it just was trying to help him until he went a lap down. But definitely going to try to fight with Robert Jordan for this lucky dog position. That is the battle in the front pack, but going to watch Brian Wang here to see if any of these guys decide to pull on off of the racetrack and come down pit road. Looks like they're going to stay out this moment, probably trying to get
that 1 lap insurance.
Wanting that insurance for a green white checker. That was just what I was about to say, Chris.
Yeah, I saw it there. I think right now they know that they're a whole halftime around the field. So these guys are in 1. That field is getting ready to go into 3, possibly 4 right now. So they have a lot of time to play with. So if they want to get that insurance up, this is the best place to do it, where all they got to do is make sure everyone's pit stops are going to be good. It seems like they're setting everything up right now. It looks like no one's really pushing hard except Kevin Freeze. And as soon as these guys come down, which I think is going to be this lap, they have all the time in the world to get the pit stop that they need, get that fuel, take no tires, and then get right back out in the field.
Absolutely, and here they come around yet again. And here goes the move. Here come those drivers down pit road, locking them up big time. Oh, and contact! Oh, this is not what this lead pack needed. Just talked about the good night some of these guys were having, and not only was that big contact, could they have sped coming in? I saw the commitment cone hit by a couple drivers, one completely missing pit road. That was hairy, probably the most action we've seen as far as carnage all night, but definitely could have separated this front pack, and with 18 to go, that could let the second pack really start to catch up with some of these guys. And here they come down pit road.
If they get three or four cars together, they'll still have the speed. Looks like they'll have 3 cars right now coming out the pits right now. And obviously they had that 20-second, 20-second lead right now. But that's definitely going to hurt them, especially if they already took a faster pair and now they're still running damage. Right now, all we have is Kevin Freeze and Brian Wang, the only 2 cars getting there. We still need. They still need Robert Rock to go ahead and catch up to them. So I know they don't want to slow down too much to get rid of everything, but that 20-second lead is really going to help these guys try to maintain the pace, and hopefully they can catch on to a lap down car. But absolute travesty right now that just happened with those guys during that pit stop.
Absolutely, and a lot of movement with these packs. I mean, look at some of these drivers coming off pit road. Got a big pack here, but they're going to be pretty far back from our leaders. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think these 2 right here have gotten their wish. This is what they want, and Brian Wang's... Oh, and we've got a yellow. Caution flag is out. Did someone wreck coming off pit road?
I think it was directly off pit road. Not sure what car it was. I think there was 2 cars coming together right as soon as the start-finish line. Looks like it might have been Jay Hilliard. I think it was the car that was slow.
Absolutely. We're going to have to go back and see if we can catch that here. First yellow of the night on Green White Checker TV. And it's time to go see what exactly happened here. Let's see if we can catch it. I don't know if I can catch the right driver here, if it's going to catch it okay. Let's see if we can do this.
I think we're here. Yeah, I think it's right coming out of the pit lane. All the cars are leaving pit lane right now as we see that last car on the inside. Don't know what number that is, but they're coming right out the cone. Everyone's trying to get single file, and it looks like...
Oh, there it is. The contact. What a move there. That was... Look, we're going to be the unprofessionals here. Are you ready for this? We're going to back this up and see if we can watch this from a different view. Just back up maybe a little bit more and see what exactly happened here. Watching it at half speed, coming to quarter speed. Oh, just gets hit and nailed into that outside wall. Not good here for Jay Hilliard, who was one of our leaders at one point, right? He was in that lead pack most of the time. So definitely interesting ordeal here for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that might have just been not checking your corners all the way around. You come out, you want to stay as close to that yellow line and get on the apron as much as possible, and everyone just kind of gets single file. So it might have been a case of just not knowing where that car comes out of nowhere, supposedly right there. So I think that was just a little bit of a case where you just had a little bit of tunnel vision. Both drivers didn't see each other, and unfortunately just ended in a caution. But that kind of ends Brian Wang and Kevin Freeze's domination, because I think they had about 30-40 seconds on the pack. I think they were getting ready to lap the pack, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of action here for pit road except for some wrecked trucks. So, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break here for the caution, and we'll be back at the 1 to go to get you all set back up for the final few laps of this event. All right, folks, we are back ready to set things up for you here on Green White Checker TV, and that caution changes everything, Chris. Changes everything. Let's look at our chat really quick. Daniel giving a shout out. We thank you for that, bud. Checkered Flag Motorsports saying that changes the race, and that he wasn't saying TW was doing bad, but they had 3 against 3 until they caught the lap cars. But that caution changes everything. Hopefully these guys have learned about losing the pack, and we'll have more than 3 trucks racing for the victory here tonight, or more than just 2. So what do you think, Chris? Who are you looking at? I know we had 2 different packs, but who do you think is going to have the speed and the help to get us the rest of the way here tonight?
Yeah, definitely hard to say with Brian Wang and Kevin Freeze honestly being the only 2 cars that were out front ahead of everybody, and those were the guys leading a good chunk of this race from start to finish. So hard to figure out who's going to be pushing who, because once we got to those other single car packs, it was kind of whoever was in the lead at that time, because these guys didn't really mess around and try to pass each other. So we haven't seen too much of an aggressive move from everybody where they're trying to go 2 and 3 wide until the first 10 laps are gone. But right now it's coming down to 15 to go. I think it's almost anybody's race. So we'll see if these 2 guys up front can get back together and try to hold serve right now. But I think these guys are going to go 3 wide probably by the time we come back around green.
Absolutely. This changed the race so much that TW Motorsports' Randy Minor finds himself in the lead. And these guys really stacking up on the front stretch for this restart, all trying to get in position. Randy Minor takes the green, gets a big jump. It's going to let the 2 of Brian Wang jump right down behind him to match up with Kevin Freeze. But they're going to go ahead and try to make this move since they have such a big gap.
Yeah, not too sure what was happening on the restart right now, but we already see those 2 get right back together. Kevin Freeze and Randy Minor, sorry, not Randy Minor, but Brian Wang already into the lead. Absolutely passed him with ease. So right now it's going to be a game of if you could just play defense for 13 laps. And I don't know if Kevin really wants to try to go ahead and win this, since they've been working so well together that right now Brian Wang's in the lead, and we got the 5 coming up here right now.
Absolutely. The 5, who was trying to lead that second pack for a while, is back up to the front. Look at some of these guys that were almost 1 lap down, that were struggling, that were going to be in bad positions, and here they are with a chance to win here tonight. Gabe Butler is back on the lead lap, some other drivers as well, but they are in deep traffic here, and we're back to how this race started. 3 by 3 in the back, trying to make their way to the front. If anybody had a faster pair, that was the time to use it. 12 laps to go coming out of turn 2, and we have got a race for the lead. Kevin Freeze and Brian Wang had it easy most of the race. I'm sure Brian Wang has got that bonus point for leading the most laps here tonight, but definitely got their work cut out for them as teammate JD Crow is trying to sniff that lead, and you know as well as I do, when we see him here at the end, he's a factor for sure.
Yeah, looking at the field right now, it looks like these guys are getting ready to try to get a big run on the outside there. I think Gabe Butler's getting ready to try something right now where he's been in the back all this race. I don't know if I think he's got his lap back, but looking at where everyone else is at right now, he's right behind Gael. So these guys might try to do something last minute and get up to the top and try to get a good push going.
Absolutely. It is anybody's race that's on the lead lap right now. You could throw a blanket under them here tonight. Racing down the backstretch, Robert Duvendak looking to make it 3 wide up top. We know what speed he's got in the truck behind him. The 0-2 Seth Groover, such an aggressive pusher, but he got really wiggly heading into turn 3. But watch for them two to get a massive run coming out of 4 as we get ready to take 10 laps to go in this event. So much racing. Guys in the chat, do us a favor. Tell us who you think is going to pull off the victory tonight. You might as well put a name in a hat and try to draw. Will it be Gabe Butler again, since he's back on the lead lap with teammates in the back? Or do you think we'll see another first-time winner this season, or maybe even a first-time winner in Area 51? We'll have to wait and see. 10 laps to go as we run down the backstretch.
Yeah, definitely gotta watch out for the spacing right now. Now we got cars three by three, so that middle lane is gonna be the key factor here. Whether they want to squeeze or push the top line up or squeeze the bottom line down low. So these guys honestly have the control of how they want to do things right now, and it looks like they're gonna have a little bit of leeway right now because that top line can't seem to get spun up. Oh, we have a wreck.
Big contact here in the pack. Lots of cars running off the field. Look at them sliding around. Lot of incidents here. We've got another yellow flag, folks. Did not even get the chance to ask if we were going to have another caution or not. But we had to think with them 3 by 3 that we would have definitely saw that. So let's see if we can find where this yellow came out and see if we can really watch what might have happened here to some of these drivers.
I think this happened right in front of the boss.
Oh, it looks like the 08 maybe moves up just a little bit and a little netcode into Seth Groover. And then you're just going to see we've probably got the perfect view for this, and we'll go back and watch it in different views. But, oh, the two
Airborne.
Going for a ride. Oh, Gabe Butler in one of his first wrecks really this season. Nowhere to go. And these guys just wrecking all over the racetrack as we watch the boss man slide through the field. Really had it unfortunate there, but just a lot of these drivers really just having a rough go at it here. Let's see if we can rewind. Oh. Ah, there we go. It was giving me a little fit there for a second. Let's see if we can rewind and watch from a different view here and see if we can ride along with some of these drivers that got involved in the incident. One more time, let's see if we can watch it really slow here. You're going to see the 08 start to move up, right? The 08 there, going to move up, and that's where you're going to see the contact to Seth Groover, and it just all goes downhill from there. And look at the big ride he's going to take.
Yeah, and somehow, some way, he actually gets into the pits. Obviously, he was a little bit too fast, so that would be a speed penalty. But he just slid right into the pit lane. So all he had to do was kind of maintain speed, and I think they'll give a clear on that black flag if he did generate one. But very wild ride from him. Right, the boss is still spinning in the grass. Hopefully, he doesn't have to pay for the track. He just has to pay for the broadcast. So thank you guys, thank the viewers for chiming in and telling us what you guys think for who's going to be winning this race. It will be a shame if the two didn't win, and we have somebody that's saying they got Wong. So we got some favorites right now. I think go Wang. So I definitely think he's going to be able to get a good run here. Kevin Freeze has definitely been pushing them. So I see these guys still being the dominant two trucks right now.
Absolutely. Sebastian Marin in the chat. I've got to say hello to a former teammate of mine, a buddy. He's not racing Thursdays much anymore. Got other things going on, but able to tune in and watch the broadcast tonight. Thank you for your support, and I agree with you. Brian Wang is a restrictor plate king, but there are a lot of hungry hounds out there. And Checkered Flag Motorsports chiming in saying they'd be a shame if the two didn't win. It would be a shame, but we've seen crazier things in restrictor plate racing. So another yellow out here. We're going to take one more break to try to reset everything and get set up for this last yellow here. So we'll come back for the one to go, get you set up, and see how action-packed the finish of this race will be. All right, back here under the 1 to go on the backstretch. Brian Wang is your leader. JD Crow going to be restarting in the 2nd position. Got Kevin Freeze lined up behind Brian like he's been all race in 3rd. And Robert DuPont in 4th. Randy Miner there in 6th with Robert Duvendak going to be up there to make a run at it as well. So top 6 has got a lot of strong vehicles in it, and we've got some in the back that might have had to take a fast repair. What do you think the strategy is now? It has to be go time, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's definitely go time, but there's enough track left for these guys all the way in the back to somehow probably get in a different lane or just get all the way up there. And if everyone crashes, say, on the last lap and you're in the back still trying to figure out your way through the pack, the seas might just part and you might be 15th when you take the line, and then when you come back to the line, you might be 5th. So we'll see what happens here.
Absolutely. The pace car getting ready to pull into pit road. Brian Wang, you see the 25 on the bumper, ready to hit the loud pedal when it comes time. It's going to be a restart with 6 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Last week was a weird race, but this is going to come down to it here, just like we typically see on Thursday nights. Green is in the air, and these drivers are pushing hard. The bottom lane has so much organization. Look at how close the 25 is to the 2 as they race off into 1. And look at the rest of the field just trying to play catch-up.
Yeah, we have one car that didn't take fast repairs, and I guess when we went back to green, he noticed that the car was definitely not shifting and going anywhere. So a little bit of a gap, a little weird. I'm not sure if that generated any penalties for some of these guys. It might be real weird, but hopefully everyone's good to go as we go into turn 3.
Absolutely. Drivers getting ready. The outside lane is coming back. Got guys that had some unfortunate incidences earlier, went a lap down. Now here they are running in the top 10. Looking at Dude Conrad there in the 8th spot. The 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, we talked about him being toward the back, starting to make some noise here tonight on the inside.
Look at that pink truck.
Derek Walker through the middle, 3 wide, to get himself up into the 3rd car in that middle lane. And definitely it's anybody's game here, but the outside lane seems to be building a lot of speed. And we've got 3 poot knocker guys up in the top, and included in that is Gabe Butler. So many guys with a chance. And here they go racing down the backstretch with just 5 to go.
Yeah, Derek Walker had a really big run, and I think if he really wanted to, he probably could have gone to the outside, and he would have been leading that outside pack. A
little bit of contact.
Bobble in the back.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Got to push it for all it's worth.
Absolutely. Jay Hilliard got contact with the 20 of Derek Walker. The 08 kind of wiggling a little bit on the bottom lane, but you expect this at the end, Chris. Really aggressive racing. And look, even with our leaders in the outside lane getting squirrely, coming to 4 laps to go.
Yeah, these guys definitely got to watch out for any late bumps going into the corner, or just any real strong shoves, because you push that truck anywhere off center. So if you hit them in the right, you hit them in the left, they're going to go wherever you really want to push them. So you don't want to push them into the next lane and cause a big, massive wreck. As we see Gabe Butler go down to the middle, and you're going to see that big gap right now. And Derek Walker, a lap ago, was the one that was on the receiving end of that, where now he's getting pushed all the way to the back. So these guys are definitely moving. This shakers and movers is right now.
The only 2 not truly moving, Brian Wang and Kevin Freeze, still leading this race, trying to dominate this one. Brian Wang looking for his first victory of the season, but there's a lot of truckers right here that say otherwise. And Chris, we've seen a lot of last lap crashes, including our leaders getting hooked at the end of some of these plate races with aggressive pushing. And here we are, 3 by 3 by 3. Look at the boss man after that incident earlier. 3rd car in the outside lane, trying to push Gabe Butler and Dude Conrad. He's in good company to see if he can get a good finish here tonight.
Yeah, definitely no better truck to push in front of you than Gabe Butler, who's probably the all-time winner here this season. What's going on? So it's 3 wide. We have a car that's lapped down. He decided to do the respectful thing and get all the way to the bottom. I think he crashed his car just a little bit, but he definitely saw what was coming when he looked
and contact in the pack! Another big wreck, and we've got another yellow here that took out some really good trucks. And Chris, that's going to set us up on Green White Checker TV for a green white checkered. Hey,
Definitely.
first one for me up here in the lead to be able to do that.
Definitely. We're going to need a little graphic whenever that happens for us up here at the booth. So, we don't want to see too many cautions. Obviously, we want to clean race as much as possible. But whenever we get that green, white, checkered series of events happening to us, I think it just puts a little bit of a smile on our face.
Gael, if you were going back watching this, we need a giant just GWC to pop up before we go to a green, white, checkered. But first off, folks, we need to dig in here and see if we can find the yellow here and see if we can go see what had happened here. A big incident, and I know it involved Gabe Butler. So we're going to see if we can go back here and catch this incident, see what happened. Oh, we kind of catch it already mid-start. Let's see if we can back up just a moment. All right, so we're going to watch here. Let's choose that camera. It'll give us a great view. So notice the 74 of Robert Jordan there kind of moving up just a little. We're going to play this nice and slow here. You see him get a little loose, goes to correct, and gets right into Gabe Butler. Going to come right down into Robert Duvendak just getting away from it, but the 08 Bud Steele getting involved. Gael Brooks up on the outside, just rolling right by it. And a strong run for the 20 kind of gets stopped here as he pile drives into this one as well. Look at the guys, maybe just involving these four and no one else. Don't really know for sure. And look at the 14. I've noticed his strategy. He's gotten back on the lead lap, and he's just kind of been hanging out to see what would happen. But definitely, and even another big hit there for the 08. The hits just didn't stop coming there, Chris.
Yeah, definitely big hits for them, and Vicente might be having the right strategy here, where the race wasn't turning out well for anybody except two drivers right now. So now it's become a little bit of a caution. A caution fest. It's not too bad. Everything's still going all right now. We unfortunately had that last incident, but Vicente might just get a good finish here just by surviving.
Absolutely. And in the chat, we have a really good question. Did Gabe Butler have a faster pair? We knew he was in that incident in the big wreck earlier. Did he take it too soon? Did he get enough damage in this to really bring harm to that truck? It kind of looks clean to me, Chris. We'll see if we can get a little better look at it here. Maybe a little
has
crinkle.
A shining shimmer.
it has a little crinkle there in the fender, but I don't know. I think that truck would still be good. I would say he's out of faster pairs, but I would definitely say his truck could still be in contention, maybe just not the best at leading. But lucky for him, he's got 5 races in a row that he was able to win. So I think he's okay to have a bad race every now and then.
Oh, definitely. And we've seen trucks before, and even in real life with the Cup cars, you don't necessarily need the cleanest car to win a plate track like this. So as long as you're in the fight and you can stay with the pack, you have a fighting chance.
Absolutely. And speaking of fighting chance, Chris, if you want to help me out, let's see if we can get our boss, our leader, up here in the booth with us to get a quick interview in to see what he thinks of the action here tonight. Let's see if we can pull this truck up here of Gael Brooks.
Yeah, let's get the boss man up here.
Making Chris do all the hard work here tonight. Gael Brooks, do you have a copy?
Got you guys. How's it going?
It's been interesting. Technical difficulties at the beginning. Hoping you don't fire us after tonight, but it sure has been fun getting here to the end of this one. So getting ready to come to a green, white, checkered. You're in the green, white, checkered truck. So we wanted to ask you how this race has been for you and if you think you've got a shot to come away with the victory here tonight.
I don't know if the nerves are going to let me come away with the victory. I'll say these guys are insane at what they're able to do. It was pretty much the Kevin Freeze, Brian Wang show at the initial, because those two, we were looking at lap times. I was working with Gabe and JD and Eric and them, and we're just looking at last time, man. They were running just 50, I think it was 50.1s, I want to say, or sorry, 51 ones, like clockwork, and we were always 2 to 3 tenths slower than them. They at that point, it's like, we need a yellow. It's the only chance we had. So unluckily for them, but yeah, I got the yellow we need. And I'm going to try to do something to get myself in a good spot, maybe have a chance, but being a part-timer, I really don't want to shake things up, especially coming to the second to last race before the playoff kicks off. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do what I can. Nothing too crazy. I got Dude in front of me we know how good he is. So I'm gonna try to keep an eye on that 8 truck, see if I can help him out. I know Gabe will work his way back up after that incident. So yeah, that was a close call. I barely squeaked through that one, but it's gonna be fun. These guys are. It just shows how good they are. Being from the booth coming into the truck, it's night and day. These guys are amazing.
Absolutely. Well, we know you're getting ready to take this green flag with 2 laps to go, so we'll get you back to your channel, but good luck to you, boss, and maybe I can interview you for once in a Green White Checker TV broadcast. So good luck to you. We'll see you afterwards.
Sounds good. Have fun, you guys.
All right, take care.
All right, that was Guile Brooks, but Chris, we've got to reset it. We've got Brian Wang on the front row, J.D. Crow in second, Kevin Fries in third, the Team Boot Knocker top 3, Robert DuPont trying to spoil the party in fourth with Dude Conrad in the 5th position. Got a lot of drivers here ready to try to go after this trophy here tonight. Gonna come to 2 laps to go when the pace car pulls in. Do you think anyone can beat Brian Wang here, Chris? Give me your quick thoughts before the green.
The only person that can beat him is the guy that pushes him, and it's honestly going to be either Kevin Fries or Brian Wang, and it'd be a shame for Brian Wang to lead all these laps and to come up short. So we'll see here in a second as we're going green. I really don't think so. They're already pulling off real early.
Absolutely, trying to get the jump. They know they can push. They're trying to get their teammate of Dude Conrad clear, and it looks like it's going to work. The leader gets to take off when he wants, and you know Kevin Fries was going to honor that. He could have easily jumped to the outside and made the move, but chose not to. But look at J.D. Crow. He says, forget teammates. I'm here to win this race tonight, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we see the boss man, sitting that third line. He can kind of choose where he wants to go right now. So it looks like we're going to have the 2-car tandem going on right now, where we have 2 lines right now. The bottom line has no help.
They've had help all race long, and with 2 to go, that help is gone. Here they come through 3 and 4, trying to see if they can grab the victory. In the chat, if you've got a pick for the win, let us know here as we come to the start-finish line, hopefully before yellow, and it'll be 1 to go when we do cross the line. Let's see who our winner's going to be. There's aggressive pushing on the bottom, but the top has the numbers and has the momentum. As we go into turn 1, it's going to be a draw here to see who gets the lead.
Yeah, everyone is side by side right now. It's really going to take that 3rd or 4th car to really get that push. All these cars right now, it's almost dead even. We got more cars on the outside than we do on the inside, but now we're going to have the outside completely split. Now we're going to have 3 cars going around. We're trying to see what we got right now.
That's going to hurt the middle lane. I like the bottom so far. But
big wreck!
Oh, and we might have a little bit of trouble. Are they saving it? Trying to find a camera to look.
They're still trying to wreck.
Man,
no,
there they go, spinning in the back, I believe. Big incidents here, but we've got to go to the front because the race for the win's right here. Big wreck at the front. Will he hold on? Who is going to get it? Wow, he has waited so long. Robert DuPont has your victor here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway.
I cannot believe it. There was just a little bit of a hiccup in that push in the travel where the truck gets very, very light and just all the cars went straight down to the bottom.
Oh, my goodness. Chris, I think before we do any interviews, we've got to see if we can watch that finish. So let me see if I can just pull up the white flag lap for us, and let's see what we can see here. Oh, wow, what a finish to the race, folks. Green White Checker TV brought it to you, and we tried our best not to disappoint. Let's ride here with Robert DuPont as we're going to go full speed here and see exactly how these moves got made.
I've never seen a finish like that.
Go into our dynamic TV camera, look at it, watch the 71. He finished P2. We'll just watch the whole last lap one more time in case you missed anything. We had so much going on. First, we might be able to see this wreck here on the backstretch on what happened. Hopefully this camera view gives us what we need. We see that third lane trying to form, but some of these guys maybe getting aggressive. Robert Duvendak just had gotten loose, came down into those guys, but look at the saves they all tried to have. Made it into a 6-horse race though, Chris.
Yeah, just watching, they try to save as much as they can, when everyone's kind of trying to go left or right, eventually someone's going to get caught up in it. As we see, all the leaders just get on that apron. I think it was just one bad push that took everyone with them. You see Gael almost try to get the sneak to victory right there, as we see Robert DuPont absolutely steals this one.
Absolutely, and look at him here parked at the front stretch, so excited about his victory here tonight. Fans out there in Green White Checker TV, as a testament to Gael, why don't you guys try to let us know in the comments what you thought of that finish as we get ready to look at interviews of our top 3 drivers. So first, go ahead.
Right now, we're just waiting for Dude Conrad to see if he has Discord so we can get him in here and do an interview. We're having a little waiting problem right now, but I don't know. How did you feel about that race? That was very interesting from start to finish.
Absolutely, super interesting. How that played out here tonight, and I do not see Dude Conrad in the Discord here tonight. No, there he is. He just did join. If we can grab him here, Chris, we'll see if we can talk to our 3rd place finisher.
Bringing him in now. What a race right now. Just having to see him in there. So we had Dude Conrad absolutely come away with a great finish there in 3rd place.
Yeah, I got real lucky there, catching that caution and getting a lucky dog, and some little decent track position starting on the outside, and me and Gabe was coming, and fortunately he got turned. Then we restarted 1, 3, and 5 there on the bottom. Surely we had Brian to win. It didn't work out that way.
Absolutely. Dude had such a strong run here tonight, but most of the race didn't look pretty for you. You had a pit stop there in the middle of the race under green where it looked like you and Bud Steele kind of made contact. Did that damage the truck to really cause you to fall pretty far back? I noticed Gabe Butler trying to push with you, but once y'all got lapped, he kind of left you out to dry to kind of fall to the back of that pack. Did the truck maybe have a little too much damage at that time to try to contend?
Yeah, we didn't hit that hard on pit road, but when we got out there, it was dragging bad. I guess it hit on the front end somewhere. We were super slow, and then Gabe ended up coming behind us, and we was running 53, 54 second laps, and I know he was itching when that lap traffic caught us. I told him get with them and try to get some track position, and at least it worked out because when my caution come out, he was still on the lead lap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, a great race there. Was there a little bit of a frightening experience seeing how the first set of 2 pit stops were hanging out and everyone's just getting spread out, and it was kind of like, well, these 2 are gone. What was the thought process between everyone back there?
Well, I was hoping Maxwell and them was still awake. That had to be boring to watch, but yeah, it's just one of them races, man. Going green's what you want, to get away from everybody, and that's what they did. They had all their I's dotted and T's crossed, and the caution come out and kind of screwed their little thing up. Like I said, we're just lucky. That's all this was tonight.
Absolutely. Well, dude, you had such a solid finish tonight after unfortunate circumstances mid-race, got back on the lead lap, and came back all the way for a 3rd place finish. So congrats to you and your team. We'd like to give you a chance to give any thanks and shout-outs that you might have for this 3rd place victory here tonight.
Just the team, Team Bootnocker, Gabe and Eric and all them guys. How about Robert DuPont getting a win tonight? That's awesome. Gail, he finished top 3. That's badass.
Absolutely. Well,
and if Larry's watching, he knows.
Oh, Larry, we know him very well, don't we, dude?
Oh yeah.
Congrats on the 3rd place finish here tonight. Tried to help your teammates there. It just came up short, maybe hard pushing there at the end. Just caused the truck to get a little bit loose, but still came back for 3rd. Tried wrecking our boss for 2nd. We saw that, but no, we're just messing with you. But congratulations on the 3rd place finish. And go celebrate with your team there, dude.
10-4, bud.
All right, that was Dude Conrad here tonight, but now we get to do something we don't normally get to do, folks. we get to talk to the man, the myth, the legend. We get to talk to the boss man, Guile Brooks, bringing it home P2 here tonight. So, Guile, tell us about your race. I know we asked a little bit earlier, but just kind of start to finish a summary. You were all over the place and came back for second.
I really was all over the place. Yeah, I mean, I started in the back. I was like, I don't want to ruffle feathers and make sure, obviously, say me being me, kind of not wanting to relinquish too much control. Like, all right, let's make sure everything's going smooth. And so, like I said, you had to kind of deal with some of the issues on the broadcast side. But great job kind of getting that squared away. And Chris, hats off to you, man, for jumping on and running the show there for a little while. Really appreciate you guys. But man, yeah, no, I was just cruise control that first portion. Like, all right, I'll just stay in the back. I'll save. And then everybody comes in together. And as soon as I saw, I was like, I'm pitting pretty much at the back. This may not end well. And sure enough, it didn't end well. But luckily, I was with some quick guys like Seth Groover and JD Crow, Gabe Butler and company. But man, just lap after lap. But we're watching the intervals between us and that lead pack with, I think it was TW and then Kevin Freeze and Brian Wing. And whatever those guys are doing, they were making time. I think Eric Lorry's with them too. And I mean, they were just running just monster laps after lap after lap. There's just zero drop off. So hats off to those guys, because without that caution, this race is almost probably another chance of them trying to lap the field, how fast they were going. So yeah, first give them a big shout out on that one, because that was incredible what those guys were able to do up there. But yeah, then the caution that came out kind of saved my race and gave me some chances. Had a couple of close calls there. When I was working with Gabe, I think it was the 74 had a moment, and luckily just snuck by there. And then, yeah, that white flag lap, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to jump over to try to help JD out, because I was there with him, and I was like, well, let's go with him. I'll work with Robert, I'll work with JD, and we'll get that second lane to move. And then just the big wreck behind me, and then the contact coming through the trial where everybody's just pushing and squeezing, and just, yeah, the seas parted there, and so happy for Robert getting the win tonight. That was like, that's one of the, I'm happier about him winning than if I was able to steal a win tonight. So man, it was a lot of ups and downs tonight for sure, but it's a blast. I don't know how these guys do it week in and week out.
Definitely, boss. Good to see you in the podium. It's a little bit weird to interview the guy that hired me to do this. So from start to finish, it seemed like you were kind of doing a lot of things. You know, you were chilling in the back at the beginning of the race, and everything started to spread out. And then I think when we came either to the second or third pit stop, you had to stay out either due to just not enough room to get down. But you know, it was a couple of you guys moving around the track, and then eventually, once we started to get back to a racing form, you were making some moves out there that were, you know, setting yourself up. So it seemed like you knew what you were doing. It seemed like you haven't really lost a step. Was there anything going into this that you obviously you didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but did you think you were going to finish here at the beginning of this race?
No, I figured, honestly, top 10 was kind of where I was thinking, okay, that's probably my best chance scenario tonight for a result. And yeah, just honestly, I'd say it's one of those, I think it's probably one of those beginner's luck thing where it's like, if I try to do this week in and week out, it would probably just progressively go the wrong way. But no, it was that was a blast. I really appreciate Gabe and JD and Eric letting me hang out with them, and learned a lot from them as well, kind of, and just the communication from the drivers in race. Like, even if you're not in the same Discord, like, hey, if you position your truck here, I can push you a little better. I can see the entry to the turns better. These guys, like I said, it's a science with them, and it's beyond impressive with what they're able to do. These guys, they make it look easy because they're really good at it, and I've got a lot of learning to do.
Absolutely. Strong run here tonight. Just watching here on the broadcast, the finish, you almost let dude Conrad kind of take you out there at the end, but you held on to that thing getting squirrely. How was it trying to dodge that tri-oval crash? Like, what instinct told you just to move straight up there to give not only Robert DuPont the win with that big push he had, but also to get you that second place tonight?
Yeah, once I saw the contact, I figured it's like, well, there's only really one way to go to hopefully get clear, and that's going to be top. And I talked to dude after the race apologizing because I had no idea he was still there. When we came through, I thought it was just the 07 ice. I was like, okay, I'll kind of come down a little bit, and then there's dude, and yeah, just door him. I'm just like, oh no, I'm sorry about that, dude. And, but I'd say he's such a cool, laid back dude, literally. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and these guys are, like I said, these guys are a great group of guys, and it's a lot of fun kind of doing it on the booth side, but then actually getting to hop on the racetrack with them too. It's a great time. And yeah, I said that one, the contact, I say I'm putting that one a little bit more on me there at the end because I just wasn't completely aware of my surroundings. I thought I was all clear with just Robert and I up ahead. So, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm just so stoked for Robert getting that win. I mean, I've talked about that. I feel like all season, Maxwell. It's only a matter of time, and to be on track when he got it was really exciting for me.
Absolutely. Believe it was last week we saw him get the top 3, and he wanted to talk about getting that win one day, and then lo and behold, here we are 1 week later getting the win. But Gael got an awesome second place finish. I don't know where this came from. Anytime I've asked you to push me at a restrictor plate race, you've typically wrecked me or been scared to push, and now here you are pushing guys to the victory. So I don't know what I did to you, but maybe I can get on your good side one day, and me and you can plate race again sometime soon. No, I just want to aggravate you about that one race at what was it, iRacing Superspeedway. I love aggravating you about that. But what we want to do now, Gael, you don't get the chance to do this a whole lot. We want to give you the floor for any thanks and shout-outs that you might have for your second place victory here tonight, and just for any thanks and shout-outs you may have in general, really.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm going to know what to do with my hands here, but no, I really, first off, I got to thank Peter DeBorgia for painting this amazing truck that I got to hop on. I'm glad I was able to give a good result too. So I'll say, Peter, if and when you watch, really appreciate it, man. You do a lot of awesome stuff for the league, and of course also with on the back, you see the extra life on the back of that truck. I say it's really cool. Any money that you kind of give to him, he puts right into the extra life, and it's a children's charity, helps out kids that are going through some tough times. So I kind of hopped on board after seeing him do it, Josh Cox as well. So really appreciate those guys to kind of bring that to my awareness. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, you get to have fun and race and bring awareness to kids that could use a little bit extra attention, a little bit of money to help the hospitals out. So really big thanks to them. Obviously, we can't do this without you guys. So I mean, Maxwell, Chris, you guys have hopped on, and from day one, you guys have just been incredible. And from broadcasting now to you running the whole show, Maxwell, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys are top notch, and just loving how it's grown and how I think it's going to continue to grow. So. Then from there, I mean, the admins, I mean, they do the dirty work in the trenches, doing the penalties and having to review the races and all that. I've kind of been there, done that, so appreciate them. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on. So obviously, big shout out to my dad if he's watching. I say he's doing a lot better. It's been so much fun to see that improvement. I say my brother, favorite son, Quabi as well. Of course, my wife let me putting up with me doing this and all that, and my daughter Hannah. So yeah, appreciate you guys all. It's a lot of fun, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have some more fun next week because this is kind of fun to do. So I'll have to kind of get our schedules set up, and we'll get our people in touch here.
Gael, I got to say, I'm glad you had all play and no work here tonight. Go ahead, Chris, what you want to say real quick?
Definitely, boss man. Well, you're gonna get out your race suit right there, dry off real quick, drink a little bit of water, and I got your suit right here ready for us. We're not gonna let you leave, so we're gonna bring on the winner of the race here, Mr. Robert DuPont. I will let Maxwell get started with the questions.
Awesome.
Absolutely, Robert. Good job here tonight. I believe it was just last week we interviewed you talking about how you were just wanting one spot more. You just wanted to get to victory lane. Here we are a week later, finally getting that victory here in the Super Speedway Truck Series. Go ahead and tell us how your race was, because if I remember correctly, the first half wasn't really that great for you, was it?
Oh my God, man! I was having a terrible race, man. I was just like, I overshot my pit a little bit, and then I don't know. And then that one last caution came out. Me and Gabe Butler went around one more time, and then it just kind of worked out. The caution came out, and I ended up on the lead lap, 6th place. I couldn't believe it, man. I was just like, wow. And then from there, it just was a great race.
Yeah, obviously coming out around to that last corner, everyone was fighting for all they got. Everyone kind of went to the left and left a big wide open space for you to come around. We almost had Gael and Dude Conrad try to take the win, with the last 50 yards there at the end of the race. What was your thought process coming on that last lap where, at the restart, everyone kind of started early and you're like, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah. And, I was thinking that Kevin was going to do that, and I was kind of prepared for it. And JD seemed like he was kind of prepared for it as well. So, so we didn't end up too far back. We were able to get back in line, and then, it was all she wrote from there, man.
Absolutely.
And those and I don't know if you guys watched those last couple laps. We were pretty tight, man. We were running. I mean, it was a battle. It was white knuckles right there at the end there. Because my honestly thought was I was going to try to push JD to the win. You know what I mean? Come out with a good finish. But yeah, I mean, and the only thing I could think of was just turn right away and hope it missed. And they all missed me, so it turned out good.
Yeah, I can confirm the white knuckling there, Robert. I was right there with you, man. Like I said, obviously, I was really fun to be able to race with you in this one. But man, like I said, like Maxwell said, I mean, you were second last week. You finally get that win. Yeah, like I said in my interview too. I'm just so happy for you, man. Like I said, I feel happier with you getting this win versus me kind of stealing one at the end there. Like I said, you've been putting yourself in position week after week, and yeah, this is just too cool, man. So definitely, before we let you go and continue to celebrate, we definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts for that big win tonight?
Yeah, man, I want to thank all the drivers, Area 51, you guys for putting on your broadcast, DuPont Motorsports, and everybody. It's great running with you guys. I really needed this win, and just happy to get it finally.
Well, absolutely, Robert. I've raced with you a bunch, been in different rooms with you throughout seasons, and I got to say it's really good to see that 07 DuPont Motorsports Chevrolet in victory lane here tonight. Robert, don't let us keep you anymore. You go celebrate with the team and enjoy this win, because you got to come back next week and try to do it all over again.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of interested where it puts me in the points. I'll have to check it out. I don't know if I made the cutoff for the 8, but I had a good finish at the end. So we'll continue to try to do good and get some more wins under our belt.
Absolutely. Got one more chance at it next week if you're not there yet. We won't know probably till after the end of the night here tonight, but good run. Go celebrate with the team. Congratulations. All right, so that is your race winner here tonight. And, guys, this was an interesting race, right? We had a lot of things going on here tonight. So what we need to do now, first and foremost, as I almost forgot, is we need to look at our final results here tonight.
Yeah,
as they come up on the screen.
It's been somewhat of a race. It's been a crazy race here. I know. Just kind of recapping everything is, we had a little bit of the issues at the beginning. I know that was a little weird for us at all around weird race for some of the drivers, but yeah, I'll let you take it away here for the closing remarks.
Absolutely. Let's look at our race results first, then we'll get some final thoughts on this event tonight. Robert DuPont getting the victory tonight for DuPont Motorsports, and we all talked about it here. What a great run for him tonight. Guile Brooks, that hack, finishes second. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only saying that because he's here with us right now. Dude Conrad finishing out your top 3. Brian Wang, such a dominant race tonight, bringing it home in 4th. Jay Hilliard was running up front most of this race. Kind of had an incident, thought he might have been out of it, but came back to finish top 5. That's how championship drives are made right there, making the most out of rough days. Robert Rock in 6th. Randy Miner led a little bit tonight, finishes in 7th. Derek Walker in the pink machine, showing speed all night, finishes in 8th. Bob Fitzgerald ran at the back most of the race, had some incidents, but still comes home with a 9th place finish. And J.D. Crow, after the wreck there at the end, going for the win, rounds out your top 10. Eric Laurie in 11th. Gabe Butler in 12th. Did not have really the night he was looking for all night long. Kevin Freeze, got to be disappointed. We talked about it at the beginning, Chris. He just has so much speed, is up front all race long, but just at the end has unfortunate circumstances take him out. 13th is where he'll finish tonight. Robert Duvendak in 14th. Tom Dixon is in 15th. Robert Jordan 16th. Vicente Guerrero did not have the night he wanted, went a lap down early and just didn't have good chances to recover with all those wrecks there at the end. Bud Steele in 18th. 19th was Seth Groover. James Moan in 20th, and Jimmy Crow Jr. never took the green flag, so he is credited with 21st position. So, as we run the ticker across the screen for you here tonight, in case you missed it, we'll have your favorite drivers up here and where they finished. Guys, it's time to talk and see final thoughts. Chris, I'm going to start with you because Guile was in it the whole time. But your final thoughts, what do you think of the race here tonight?
Absolutely crazy race. Probably a swing of emotions right there, where we started off real strong. Everyone was fighting for, fighting for the spots. Then we had our first green flag pit stop, and then it was a big rush. I think we had a little bit of a hiccup in the back where some of these guys just started spreading out. After that, there was a lot of panic. It looked like from the back where these guys were just trying to go as fast as the guys up front that were hooking up there. That front seven. I looked like the guys in the back were just like, "Oh man, we just need a caution." So. Fast forward to the end of the race after we had a untimely yellow. I think we were going to have the 2-car and Kevin Freeze. They were honestly getting ready to lap the field. I think they're only 10 seconds from starting to lap the rest of the field, which they would have been basically in the back of the backpack, which probably would have not ended up well in their favor anyhow, because nobody wanted to let them pass and get a lap down. So we wouldn't have known what would have happened if those guys were able to catch up to the pack that they were leaving.
Absolutely. And Gael, you've told us about the end of the race, so what I'm going to ask you, you've been in the booth with me most of this season, training me in the ways of running all of these crazy windows and screens. Other than the mic problems, seems like we got through it tonight, getting more comfortable. But Gael, got to ask you, you've seen a lot of the action on track this season. Got to be on track with them tonight. We've got one race left before the cutoff for the playoffs, and we'll have updated points. Sorry, folks, that I didn't get to show the points tonight. Was fighting some other issues, but we'll have those for you next week to really show you. I believe the drop week will even go into effect before next week's race. So we'll show that and see who's on the edge, who's coming in and out. But, Gael, your thoughts on one race left until the playoffs. How do you think they're going to race next week after being in the field with them tonight? Do you think it'll get crazier, or do you think guys are really going to focus on points racing as they get ready for this last 4-race playoff run?
That's a really good question. I think it just depends on where you are in points. Like I said, the drop week is going to be the big part of that one, because I'm kind of poking around right now. And coming into, actually, I'm sorry, after tonight's race, let's say I've went ahead and I'm looking at the points. This is, again, excluding the drop week, though. Right now, Eric Laurie is in that 8th position. However, you've got Dean Wilkinson, Robert Rock, Robert DuPont are all right there. Only between the 4 of them, it's only 4 points. So realistically, I think anywhere from 7th to 11th here is going to be really tight, because I'm looking at overall points. It's 193 for Bud Steele in 7th, 186 for Robert DuPont in 11th. And again, this is not including a drop week yet as well. So it's all to play for here. It's gonna be very tight. I think it's gonna be like we talk about every time. It's gonna be bonus points. I think it's gonna make the difference of who's in and who is out. So it's all to play for. And I mean, we are back at Talladega, so I think that does open up the potential for some more aggressive driving with these guys. But again, I don't think any driver tonight had an incident-free race. That means nobody got the 3 bonus points tonight as well. So I think there's gonna be a few drivers that say, you know what, I want to make sure I get those 3 points.
Absolutely. It's going to be tight. We think it's tight now, Gael. Wait till the drop weeks go in. When it comes to this restrictor plate racing, we've seen guys make it in and miss it by a mere point or 2. So definitely got some action next Thursday night, but we would be remiss if we did not bring up that coming Sunday night, you will have the Xfinity Series taken to the high banks for some super speedway action. Gael Brooks is your host on that night, bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of the Sunday Super Speedway Series for the Xfinity cars for Area 51. And then Tuesday nights as well, Gael and Boomer taking up the reins and hosting the Dark Horse Area 51 IndyCar Series on Tuesday nights. So I've seen that that's been pretty action-packed this season and would expect nothing else as they move along in that series. And do not forget, we've still got plenty of action left. 5 races to go in the season. 1 more before the playoffs. You will not want to miss it next Thursday night. Same time, same place. Come join us over here on Green, White, Checkered TV. I will make sure that my mic problems are fixed next time. I made a change that I probably shouldn't have, so sorry to that at the beginning for the last time. And next week we will have a great week. May have some things in the works coming up that we can try to show off later in the season. But for now, for Gael Brooks and Chris Matthews, I am Maxwell Caldwell. We are signing off for the evening. Have a safe and wonderful evening, and we will see you next time.